You know, from BTS and Blackpink to Parasite and Squid Game, the Korean wave, or Hallyu, is just this undeniable global force. It feels like it exploded out of nowhere, right? But it was anything but. This was a meticulously designed movement. So for all you creators watching, we're going to crack open the playbook and reverse engineer exactly how they pulled it off. Okay, let's get into it. And that's really the big question here. I mean, how do you do that? This isn't just about one catchy song or a hit show. We're talking about a deliberate, decades-long strategy that turns South Korea into a cultural superpower. And the answer? Well, it's basically a blueprint for anyone trying to build a movement in today's digital world. So here's our playbook. It's got 5 chapters. We'll start with the foundation they built, then look at how they totally mastered digital platforms, uncover the incredible power of the fans, and finally, check out the massive ripple effect this has had on the entire world. All right, chapter 1. Let's open this thing up. First, you have to get into the strategic mindset that was driving this entire phenomenon right from day one. That brings us to chapter 2, building the foundation. And you know, this whole thing started not with a viral video or some lucky break, but with a very intentional top-down government strategy. The origin story here is actually fascinating. It all goes back to the 1997 Asian financial crisis, which was devastating. In the middle of all that, South Korea made this radical, kind of counterintuitive pivot. Instead of cutting back, they decided that their culture itself could be a powerful export, a brand new engine to rebuild their economy. This was never just about art. It was an economic survival plan. And they absolutely put their money where their mouth was. I mean, just look at this timeline. In just a few years, the cultural budget exploded, going from $14 million to over $80 million. They passed new laws, they created an entire government ministry just for this, and it wasn't a one-time thing. By 2024, they were spending $166 per person on culture. That is a serious long-term investment. So what was the point of all that spending? Well, the goal was bigger than just selling albums. This was a masterclass in building something called soft power. The big idea was to use their culture, their music, their films, their fashion, to build international influence, boost national pride, and basically achieve their strategic goals on the world stage. Pretty smart, huh? Okay, chapter 3. That huge government investment built the foundation. But now you got to get it out to the world. And the absolute genius of Hallyu was how it mastered the digital platforms of the 21st century. They came at it with this brilliant two-pronged digital attack. On one side, you've got short-form video on places like TikTok. The goal there? Virality. Things like dance challenges that anyone, anywhere could try. It just completely lowers the barrier to get involved. But then, to build a deep, dedicated community, they used long-form video on YouTube, the full music videos, the documentaries, which lets you tell that complete narrative and lets fans capture every little detail. And did that short-form strategy work? Oh yeah, it worked. Just take a look at the reality show Singles Inferno. Its hashtag has over 6.5 billion views on TikTok. That's not just marketing anymore. That is a global conversation, and it's being driven by the public themselves. Which brings us perfectly to chapter 4, and this is arguably Hallyu's secret weapon, the fans. This is where the whole thing flips, and the strategy shifts from top-down to bottom-up. It's powered by a global army of super passionate creators. The key concept you got to understand here is the prosumer. See, those digital platforms we just talked about, they didn't just let people watch the content. They empowered fans to become active producers of it. They don't just consume anymore. They participate and create. They basically become this massive, decentralized marketing team for their favorite artists. And this slide just perfectly illustrates that fan journey. You know, it starts simple. You consume, you watch the shows, you listen to the music, then you start to engage online. But here's the crucial next step. You start to create. You're making reaction videos, you're translating lyrics, you're making memes, and finally, you organize, running these complex, coordinated campaigns. Hallyu absolutely perfected getting fans to climb this ladder. And the stuff they create is just so diverse. We're talking everything from fan translations that make the content accessible to the whole world, to super detailed analysis videos, memes that spread like wildfire, even role-playing accounts on Twitter that build out the universe of these artists. Every single piece of this secondary creation just adds more fuel to the fire. So, what's the result of all this? What happens when you combine that top-down strategy with this bottom-up fan engine? Let's get to our final chapter, the ripple effect, and look at the real-world impact of the Hallyu Playbook.
Economically, the numbers are just staggering. In 2023 alone, Hallyu-related exports hit $14 billion. And look at this breakdown. It's not just the content itself. It's consumer goods like cosmetics and fashion, and billions in tourism. It's like they say, a rising tide lifts all boats, and this cultural wave is lifting their entire economy. But the impact goes so much deeper than money. It's actually changing how people think and communicate. A 2022 study of fans found that 66%, that's two-thirds of them, unconsciously use the Korean language in their own private thoughts. It's influencing gestures, it's changing communication styles. That is an incredibly deep level of cultural penetration. And the ultimate proof that this playbook worked? Well, it's happening right now. Just look at the 2026 Grammy nominations, a historic wave of female K-pop artists like Blackpink's Rosé and the group Catzy getting recognized in major categories. This is it. This is the culmination of that plan that started way back in the late 90s, a journey from a national economic strategy all the way to the center stage of global music. So here's the big takeaway. The Hallyu Playbook proves that a massive cultural movement can be engineered. It's this powerful combo of top-down investment and bottom-up, fan-driven creation, which really leaves us with one final thought. With all the tools of the digital age right at our fingertips, who's to say the next global wave isn't already being built, right now, by creators just like you?